Hey, Brennan, I wanted to read you a book too, but since you're a little older, I thought I'd read Captain Underpants and the Wrath of the Wicked Wedgie Woman. Ugh, that sounds silly. Chapter 1, George and Harold. This is George Beard and Harold Hutchins. George is the kid on the left with the tie and the flat top. Harold is the one on the right with the t-shirt and the bad haircut. Remember that now. People, please wear your socks on the gym floor. At most schools, the teachers try to emphasize the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's not right. Writing and arithmetic don't start with R. But George and Harold's teacher, Miss Ribble, was more concerned with enforcing what she called the 3 S's. Sit down, shut your pie holes, and stop driving me crazy! While this was unfortunate for all of her students, it was especially bad for George and Harold because they were very imaginative boys. You see, imagination was not really encouraged at George and Harold's school. In fact, it was discouraged. Imagination would only get you a one-way ticket to the principal's office. This was sad, and for George and Harold, because they didn't get straight A's. They weren't sports stars, and they could barely walk down the hallway without getting into trouble. Oh, look at, they're changing the sign around. Oh boy, look at that. That's silly. See what I mean? It says, please go pee-pee in your socks for warmth. That's not right. See what I mean? But George and Harold had one thing that most of the other folks at Jerome Horowitz Elementary School didn't have: imagination. They were full of it, just like you. And one day, they would use that imagination to save the entire human race from being overthrown by a crazed woman with even crazier superpowers. But before I can tell you that story, I have to tell you this story. Chapter 2, Miss Ribble's Big News. One day, George and Harold's class teacher, Miss Ribble, entered the classroom looking a bit meaner than usual. All right, settle down, shouted Miss Ribble. I have some bad news. I'm retiring. Hooray! Cried the children. Not today, snapped Miss Ribble. At the end of the school year. Aw, man, moaned the children. But the staff are throwing a retirement party for me today, said Miss Ribble. Hooray! Cried the children. During break, said Miss Ribble. Aw, man, moaned the children. There will be lots of free ice cream, said Miss Ribble. Hooray! Cried the children. My favorite flavor, chunky tofu, said Miss Ribble. Ugh, that sounds gross. Oh, man, moaned the children. But first, said Miss Ribble, it's time for something fun. Hooray! Cried the children. You all get to make happy retirement cards for me, said Miss Ribble. Aw, man, moaned the children. Chapter 3, When You Care Enough to Send the Very Best. Miss Ribble went around the classroom handing out envelopes, sheets of paper, and butterfly stencils to all of the children. Then she wrote a poem on the chalkboard. All right, take out your crayons, said Miss Ribble harshly. I want you to use stencils to make a yellow butterfly on the front of your cards. When you're done, copy this poem on the inside. It says, roses are red, violets are blue, you are retiring, and we'll miss you. Signed your name here. Look at that. That's so silly. I don't think I like her very much. Can we make up our own poems? Asked Melvin Sneedly. No, snapped Miss Ribble. Do we have to use stencils? Asked Aaron Mancini. Yes, yelled Miss Ribble. Can we make our butterflies purple? Asked Stephanie Yarkov. No, screamed Miss Ribble. Butterflies are yellow. Everyone knows that. While the rest of the class worked on their cards, George and Harold had a better idea. Let's make Miss Ribble a comic book instead, said George. Yeah, said Harold. We'll make it all about her. It'll be cool. They have big ideas, don't they? So that's just what they did. Oh, Chapter 4 next time. Have a good night, buddy. Love you.